You ever hear someone scream, "You can't do this to me"? I built this place at the top of their lungs on a quiet Sunday morning. Yeah, that was how it all started for me. I'm telling you, nothing wakes you up like a cup of coffee halfway to your lips, and Maureen Dalton, the infamous ex-HOA president, fresh out from a year and a half on probation for embezzlement, pounding her fist on your neighborhood gate like she owns the whole block. She looked like she'd been chewed up and spit out by life-thinner gray hair now. But those cold, sharp eyes, same as when she fined me $500 for picking the wrong shade of blue for my front door, almost cost me my house, too. Now she's back, and the way she glared at me, you'd think nothing ever changed. If you've got a story like this, let me know in the comments, because Lord knows I need to know I'm not the only one. That Sunday morning was supposed to be peaceful. The hum of lawnmowers, the smell of mulch. I'd just finished answering emails from folks grateful for the new park. 2 years of work rebuilding Ashford Glen had finally felt worth it. But then my phone buzzed a message from Mrs. Hennessy. "Mr. Grayson, she's back," standing outside her old house. I read it twice, gripped my mug just listening to the clock tick, knowing it was the calm before another storm. I checked the window, and there she was, arms crossed, staring down the cul-de-sac, daring anyone to question her. That night, security footage caught her taking pictures. I grabbed my keys and drove over. It's wild thinking how just 2 years ago Maureen ran this place like a private fiefdom, fines for little things, public shaming, and 80 grand funneled into fake contracts for her relatives. She fined me, threatened to put a lien on my house when I spoke up, and then posted my address online for everyone to see. All of it unraveled. She pled guilty, got probation, and the judge banned her from holding any HOA power until 2028. When the court put the HOA into receivership, I bought it not for profit, but so nobody like her could ever run roughshod over my neighbors again. I walked up and she turned, voice, even eyes, ice cold. "Elliot, it's been a while." I kept my hands in my pockets. "I heard you finished your sentence. Congratulations." She didn't smile. "I paid my debt. I want to contribute again." I let it hang there. "You know the court order, Maureen." She just tilted her head. "I just want justice, make sure the neighborhood's run right." And there it was, the real reason she was back. Not to apologize. To pick a fight. I told her things were running fine. Reserve fund up 30%. Park finished scholarships, launched everything on the books, and audited. If she wanted, she could see the records like anyone else. She gave this thin smile, almost pitying. "Perception isn't always reality, Elliot. Some neighbors are asking about how you got the HOA in the first place. Was it a real sale?" My jaw clenched, but I stayed calm. 3 bidders, public auction, highest offer won. All in the court record. She nodded, all slow, like she already knew. "But you know how people are, Elliot. Doubt spreads fast." She left, but I knew she wasn't going quietly. That night, 5 residents called worried. Maureen had started emailing, introducing herself as a longtime advocate, hinting maybe the HOA wasn't legit. She never accused, just planted doubt. So I spent the afternoon sharing the auction records, answering every question. By evening, I was exhausted, sitting under the cold office lights, reviewing every file from her trial clippings, emails, the whole mess. I checked the new security footage there. She was, notebook in hand, casing the building for 10 minutes, planning her next move. Next morning, there's a formal letter from a law firm I've never heard of demanding full disclosure of every HOA transaction since I took over, quoting state transparency statutes. Maureen's lawyer knew his stuff. Residents have concerns about the auction. 14 days to respond. I called Pierce Donovan, my lawyer, since day one. He's calm as ever. "She's using your transparency against you, Elliot." "Clever. You can't refuse," I asked. "So what now?" He said, "We comply every document, every meeting minute. While we're at it, document everything she does, every violation." I nodded. This was just her opening move. By Wednesday, neighborhood message boards were buzzing. 10 households, polite but sharp. Was the sale too cheap? Who else bid? Any conflicts? I knew Maureen's fingerprints were on every post. I called an emergency Zoom. 112 households joined. I laid it out: bankruptcy auction, public notice, sealed bids, independent appraiser's value. My bid over market value. Quarterly audits, all public. Questions came fast, but most people thanked me. A handful old Maureen loyalists weren't convinced. Ed, a retiree, asked, Wasn't it convenient you bought the HOA after she fined you? I kept cool. I bought it because I'd seen what abuse of power did. Everything I've done is public record. The meeting ended, but the tension stuck around. 10% can cause a lot of trouble if someone like Morin knows how to stir it up. That night, I met Pierce in person. He'd already organized all the records, but he also found a gem, a threatening email Morin sent Mrs. Hennessy years ago. Continued dissent could result in fines or legal action. Clear harassment. If she contacts anyone, especially Mrs. Hennessy while on probation, we've got her. I wanted to act, but Pierce said, "We wait. She needs to cross the line." Friday, a petition, 20 residents demanding a special meeting. Some names I expected, others I'd worked alongside. That's when it hit me she didn't need everyone. Just enough to make noise. Pierce said, "You have to hold the meeting, but you control the agenda. Stick to facts, not drama." We scheduled it for 2 weeks out. That weekend, I visited Mrs. Hennessy. Her hands shook, pouring tea. "I'm scared, Elliot. I promised if Morin contacts you, call me, don't engage. She's under a court order." Mrs. Hennessy squeezed my hand. "You're a good man, Elliot. I wished I felt as sure as she did." Before sending out the meeting agenda, I checked the security cams. There she was again, midnight phone out taking photos. I saved the footage, sent it to Pierce. "She's escalating." Sunday, I hired a private investigator, a former cop I trusted to track her moves. Legal only, nothing shady. The next board meeting, I laid it all out, Morin's legal letter, the petition, the late-night loitering. Board members were shocked. Could she really do all this? "Not really," I said. "But unless she's caught interfering directly, it's a gray area." So we doubled down, more cameras, all public and board approved. 3 days later, the investigator called, caught Morin and her sister, who worked at the county clerk's office, sneaking in after hours. Video timestamps everything. "She's probably pulling restricted records," he said. "That could be criminal." I called Pierce. "If her sister's accessing confidential files from Morin, we file with the county after we confirm what was taken." Investigator agreed to get more. Anonymous letters started hitting mailboxes. No stamps, just printer paper. Elliot's corrupt demand, his resignation, signed the petition. No proof it was Morin, but who else? 3 more people got the same thing. I filed a police report just to have it on record. The investigator caught them at a 24-hour post office, mailing 30 more letters. Audio caught Morin, send enough, the board will cave. By then, he'll have lost credibility. Her sister claimed she'd found discrepancies in the auction paperwork. My stomach dropped. If she was faking records, that's a felony. Pierce said, "Wait, let her dig deeper. At the meeting, you'll have the high ground." Days before the meeting, another resident panicked, received a fake legal notice about an investigation. I emailed everyone, "Letters are fake. All records will be available at the meeting." That night, the investigator sent one more update. They're preparing another wave of letters. Pierce said, "Every move she makes now is evidence. Let her keep going." Finally, the meeting. Community center packed 120 households. I laid out the facts, auction details, appraisals, public records. Financials up. Projects. Finished everything transparent. Residents asked questions. Some tough but fair. Then Morin stood up. No hand, just started talking. "There's troubling optics limited. Notice a buyer with a grudge. Shouldn't we revisit the sale?" She played it cool, but the room buzzed. I walked up to the mic. "Morin, you're under court order. No HOA participation until 2028. By questioning the administration, you're violating that." The room froze. "If you keep this up, I'll report you. If you have a problem, take it to court, but I stand by the records." A younger resident spoke up. "If you care so much, Morin, why were you stealing from us 2 years ago?" The crowd clapped. The rest of the meeting supportive. I called for a vote 115 for the current board, 0 against. Morin left humiliated. But I knew it wasn't over. That night, I watched the security cams, caught her breaking in with an old key. Called the cops, showed the footage. She tried to plant fake invoices, bad forgeries to frame me for embezzlement. The detective collected it all, told me they'd be issuing a warrant. Pierce called breaking and entering theft forgery she's done. The next morning, the county clerk's office called, confirmed her sister had accessed restricted files. Mrs. Hennessy phoned me in tears. Morin tried to threaten her into signing a statement against me. That was witness tampering, another felony. I gathered everything, sent it to Pierce, complete evidence package. The investigator tracked Morin and her sister, caught them at a print shop, then mailing more fake letters. Pierce filed everything with the court. By noon, the police had a warrant. The next morning, Morin was arrested. Her sister lost her job, facing her own charges. I told the residents, kept it brief, law enforcement would handle the rest. Reporters came. Is this personal? One asked. No, I said it's about protecting our community from someone who broke the law. Charges stacked up: probation violation, forgery, intimidation. Judge denied bail. The story hit the papers. Former HOA president arrested. Community healed. People I barely knew thanked me. Doubters came around. I visited Mrs. Hennessy. She cried, I thought I'd lose my house. I promised her the law protects you. It's not perfect, but it works when we stand up. A week later, Morin's lawyer offered a plea deal: 3 years in prison. Permanent HOA ban, restitution, a formal apology. I agreed. She pled guilty. Read her statement. No emotion, but it was done. At sentencing, the judge made it clear you were given a second chance and blew it. Now you face the consequences. Morin was led away. Her sister later took a plea: 2 jail, probation, public employment ban. HOA life went back to normal: audits, resident oversight, open forums. No more fear. I stepped back, let others lead. One day, Morin sent me a letter from prison, admitted she did it out of pride, not protection. I didn't reply. What mattered was the community was safe, people could talk freely, and the park filled with laughter, not anxiety. Funny thing, word spread. Other neighborhoods reached out. Can you help us? So I did, quietly behind the scenes. Not for glory, just because people deserve better. That's justice. Not flashy, not easy, but worth fighting for. So let me ask, have you ever seen power abused in your own neighborhood? Did you fight back or let it slide? Share your story below, because it's folks like you who keep communities honest. And hey, if you want more stories of real-life justice, stick around. The work's not over, because home's worth protecting.